shout out to the Weekend Sports Rally family. And to you all who make time for us from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. every Saturday. Don't forget to share your thoughts and also let your voice be heard. Text us on the number 054 432 1019. I take the number again, 054 432 1019. Or you can call into the show on the long line 030 39 56 641. I repeat the number 030 39 56 641. Coach Otto Addo has released the 24-man squad. Is your player in there? A lot of talking points somehow are propounding the debate that head coach Otto Addo should be fired even if he qualifies for the 2026 World Cup. Well, those are a lot of issues and we'll be getting to all of that here. Ange Postecoglou is swimming in Nottingham's deep forest. But the big question is, can he survive? Because it's been winless streaks for him. Well, talking about struggles, now the big question is it Ruben Amorim or it is the squad depth? Well, Casa hits Oliver Glasner's unbeaten streak continues. 18 games. Wow, Crystal Palace. What a season they're having. And don't forget about the Ghana boy, Antoine Semenyo. What a form. Crazy stuff. We'll go to Europe as well. Big game coming up in the European top flights. Chelsea versus Liverpool. That is a game many are looking forward to. But don't forget that there's an early kickoff between Tottenham Hotspur and I guess Leeds also. That particular game, we shall be keeping our eyes very glued to that particular happening at the Hotspur Stadium. But don't forget also that Barcelona have a date with Sevilla in La Liga, and Juventus, I think, are also taking on AC Milan in the Italian Serie A. All of that will be previewed here on the Weekend Sports Rally. Well, I'll go for a quick break. When I return, you know what we are going to do? You'll be seeing the King Ajo. We'll be seeing Tufo Jr., who'll be joining us all the way from Kumasi, and of course, Manuel, who is part of the ZED Sports team. Well, so thank you very much for sticking with us here on the Z 101.9 FM. It is the Weekend Sports Rally here on ZED. And interestingly, head coach Otto Addo has released the 24-man squad. And interestingly, there's a bit of consistency in there. And a lot of people have been praising the coach for staying true to his word of not tweaking the squad. And let me quickly run you through the squad that Coach Otto Addo has released for our next two World Cup qualifiers against Central African Republic and Comoros here at the Accra Sports Stadium. So in goal post, we have Lawrence Atizigi, Benjamin Asari, Joseph Annan. And when you go to the defensive line, we have Ali Seidu, Gideon Mensah, Mohamed Salisu of Monaco. We have Jerome Opoku, Kojo Prepapon of OGC Nice. We have Caleb Ientri, Jonas Ajete, Ebenezer Annan, Alexander Jiku. And when you go to the men who will be doing the job for us in midfield, we have Elisha Owusu, Thomas Partey, Kwesi Sibo, Prince Owusu, Mohamed Kudus, and of course forward, you know that you're going to have Jordan Ayew, the Leicester City man, in there. You have Abdul Fattah Isaku, what a form he's having for Leicester City. We have Joseph Finso, we have Christopher Bonsuba, and Kamaldin Suleimana, Inaki Williams, and those are the men that will be doing the business for us. Let me go to Zoom, where 24 Junior is on standby. 24, great to have you on the show.
Thank you very much, my brother. Wow. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you very well, 24.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we are excited to have you on the Weekend Sports Rally.
So am I.
Great. Now, what is your initial thoughts of the Blaster squad that have been released? Are you excited about it? Is there anybody you feel that the coach should have included but failed to do so? What is your impression about the Blaster squad?
Okay, thank you very much. Wow. First of all, there's never going to be a perfect squad call-up so far as national teams are concerned. It's worldwide. It's a worldwide phenomenon. Go to England, go to Spain, go to Brazil, go to Cameroon, go to Nigeria. Every fan out there or every footballing loving spectator thinks one or two players deserve the call-up. It depends on the coach's preference and how the coach profile certain kind of players. So for me, I think it's okay. There's a level of consistency in terms of the pool of players he wants to work with. Let's start with the defense. We had a new defender coming in there, but mind you, it's always about the Jiku with his maturity and experience. It's always about Salisu with his physicality. There's Jonas Adjete, always amongst the mist in there. There's Jerome Opoku, who has played for the Black Stars over 10 games. So it's good there with the experience. Now you get to right back. Alidu Seidu is returning. And then you have Caleb Irenchi, who is out and out a midfielder. I was only thinking that with his return, he will allow Tariq Lamptey, after getting a move to Fiorentina, still remain in the squad and fight for a position, because originally he is a right back. And with the calls of the team having a group of players that can be able to play the three at the back, you can use Tariq Lamptey as your right wing back. So I was only surprised that Tariq Lamptey couldn't make this squad, especially with the return of Ali Duseidu.
No, so for the trouble with Tariq Lamptey is that he's out injured, and we are told that he's likely to stay out for the rest of the year.
Okay, so that is confirmed. Thank you very much for the correction in there. So we still have to bring Caribbean Chi there. Even though Schindler has played there a couple of times, he maybe he's not the kind of player he wants, but I think Caleb Urenchi's energy, his tenacity, and understanding of the game shouldn't be quote unquote wasted at right wing back or right back. He should be brought to the middle to compete in the middle of the pack. But again, I love how Otto Addo has realized that, look, the Black Stars of old, the Black Stars history, we've always had a solid, compact midfield. Now, the profiling is good to an extent. We have one number 8 in the person of Thomas Partey. We have a number 10 in the person of Mohamed Kudus. We have 3 or 4 number 6s in there. We have Kosisibo. We have Elisha Owusu. And then if the new boy, the Mediama boy, I hear he is an attacking midfielder. So he can also play as a number 8. So the profiling there is good. Look at the top performing teams all around the world. There is a good number 8 in there, or at least there are even 2 starting number 8s in there. If he gets this thing right and fix the midfield problem of the Ghana Black Stars. The rest will follow a suit. Because going forward, we have enough wingers, we have enough forwards, we have versatile forwards who can play all across the front three. So for me, I think it's good. He's trying to get the midfield right. Get a number 8, get 2 proper number 6, get 1 number 10, and if possible, scout and get another number 8. If the Mediama boy is good enough to start as another number 8,
You are talking about Prince. You are talking about Prince Osu.
But if not that,
you are referring to Prince Osu.
Up front, we are good. Semenyo is on fine form. He's the best forward so far as the Ghanaian talents abroad, and even Ghanaian talents overall are concerned. Jordan will bring his experience. You have Joseph Pencil also doing well. So it's good for me. This call-up is good. At the goalkeeping area, there's no change. There's no change needed. Benjamin Asare is keeping the post very, very well. He's doing his job. He's in fine form. And he has had a lot of experience with the Black Stars now. Even though it's still under 10 games, but his control at the back is solid. So for me, I think Otto Addo is right on course. He only needs to get more number 8s into this crop of players and also get a settled number 9, because all our forwards are more of versatile forwards. Jordan can play across the front three. Semenyo can play across the front three. Inaki too. We just need just one center forward we can trust and rely on. The rest can always hover around him for versatility's sake. So for me, I think it's good. Wow, I think it's good. We are good now as a team, and then this crop of players can help us build something in the future, my brother.
Well, thank you very much. Tufo Junior, he's a sports analyst far away in Kumasi. So the king is here, and when I say the king, if you are on X, you know that it's only one person. That is King Addo. He's here with us on ZED Sports, and especially Weekend Sports Rally. And also I have Manuel, who have also just walked in. So Addo, let me pick your initial thoughts on this Blaster squad. What do you make of it so far?
Yeah, for me, I'm happy we have Shaoku back in the squad. I think the last time we played, we lacked some weight, and he gives us that. When players like the guy who has moved to Atlanta, Kamaldeen Suleiman came on, he was missing some chances that Fatah will never squander. So I was happy. I'm happy to see him back in the squad, because if I look at our attackers, we have mentioned people are talking about Semenyo, but for me, I have this perception that he's our best finisher, like in the national team, because he barely misses big chances as compared to Mohamed Kudus and Kudu. So for me, I'm happy he's back, and I feel like it's a similar squad. Just go to these games and just win the games for us. Let's qualify for the World Cup. Yeah. All
right. I also pick Manuel's thoughts on this Black Stars squad as he gets ready. So, in case you've just joined us, it's a very interactive show on the Weekend Rally Sports. You can send in your messages via the number 054-432-1019. I'm repeating the number again. We'll be welcoming your messages via the number 054-432-1019. Or you can call in. Phone lines will be activated in the later part of the show. But the number to do so on Langline is 030-39-56-641. And we'll be glad to have you. Manuel, welcome to the studio.
Thanks, bro.
The way you responded, it looks like you are so much excited.
I am very excited to be here.
Great. Let's talk about the Black Star squad. What do you make of it? A lot of assumptions, a lot of schools of thought. Some are saying that Otto Addo is not performing. Some said that, look, let's focus on the 2 World Cup qualifiers. When we are done with it, then we can talk about the man in the picture, Otto Addo. What do you make of it? And then the squad in the squad.
Well, look, I feel like the 2 conversations are different, right? We can talk about Otto Addo's performances as manager for the Black Stars, and then also talk about his collapse, which, well, if you've been in this country for the past, I don't know, since Otto Addo has been in charge, there has always been conversations about Otto Addo's collapse and the players that he has trusted in the squad. My personal one is a certain midfielder that he always seemed to find reason to feel, but I'm not gonna go there. But look, overall, so let me take the Otto Addo performance. Look, I feel like even in this qualifiers, yeah, look at our game that we played in the last international window, okay? Comoros.
Yeah.
Look, anybody who is worth 2 cents of their salt will tell you that Otto Addo would not do as great in the World Cup, okay? We are struggling against Comoros, for Christ's sake. We are struggling against middles in Africa, and we want to go to the World Cup and compete against the very best in the world. Otto Addo, for me, is just not the man to do that, okay? So my opinion on whether or not we should maintain him as our manager is that, look, I don't think he will help us. We've struggled seriously to win games. Even in games that we've won, it's not been easy. Yeah, we've scored a couple of huge goals. We scored 5, I think, recently. Against Mali, yeah, we won, but it was, come on, the performance has not been great. We win, it almost feels like a professional job, you know, like, yeah, let's somehow get the results and that's it. We win 1-0, we win maybe 2-0. It's scrappy, it's brutal, it's hard to watch, but the football, again, bro, the football has not been excellent. The football has not been World Cup worthy, if you ask me. So personally, I don't think Otto Addo should be at his post come 2026. Then we look at this squad that he's called. Look, we have a job to do. Again, I think with one more win, then our qualification to the 2026 FIFA World Cup will be secured. And so we can all assume that he called this crop of players with that one win more in mind, right? Question is, does this squad possess what it takes to get that one more win? Okay, our next matches are against Central African Republic and
Comoros in Ghana.
Right. So we are playing Central African Republic first, right?
Yes.
And we'll be going away.
Yes.
Our performance away from home has not been great, right? We struggled the last time we went away from home, and let's just say that I think a lot of Ghanaians, including myself, would sleep peacefully if we could get that win at Central African Republic and know the job is done. I think this squad do possess what it takes to get the win against Central African Republic. That's the key take-up point from this squad. I like seeing Kwesi Sibo, the Real Oviedo midfielder, back in the squad. I think he was our brightest spot in our last games when we came for the international break the last time. I think he was very, very fantastic for the Black Stars in the 2 games he played over that international window. And he's been great for his club. I watched him play against Real Madrid in the Spanish La Liga, and he was quite excellent. And I love that he's been called back. Fatau missed the last...
Before you go there, let me not take words out of your mouth, but it looks like all of us have shifted our attention from our poster boy, Mohamed Kudus, all of a sudden to Kwesi Sibo, just for a one-game performance. I mean, Ghanaians, is it character? I mean, just one game and everybody's talking about Kwesi Sibo.
No, I think when you come here, we want to appreciate the fact that you are giving your all for the national team. So, like you said, we watch him against Madrid, and you see that he's trying to do something as a midfielder. But when he came here, he knew it was his first game for the national team, so he had to put in much effort. And that game at the stadium was so awesome. Like, he did so well. I met him and was like, he was impressed with how Ghanaians appreciated that what he did on the day. So for me, I feel like he should just continue because we lack midfield depth going to the World Cup. People are now saying that this World Cup, what are we even going to do there in the first place?
That's an interesting question.
Are we going to spend government money and just come back? I've just seen the tickets of the World Cup, and it's crazy. If you are to go to the World Cup, anybody's sponsoring you. Who's going to help you with tickets? It's a conversation on its own. So Ghanaians want us to go there with a plan. Like he's saying, the coach, we don't trust him. Fair enough, but is he going to lead us to this tournament? Are we going to come out of the group stages or not? The materials we have can pass the group stage no matter the group we are in. But what's in the plan of the coach going to the World Cup? We don't know. So if we qualify, we have a lot to do. I don't think they'll sack him because they know what they get from him, maybe off the field. But I feel like the players, it's a chance for you to go to the World Cup and show the world that you are good. There will be scouts at the World Cup. They'll be watching. You need to upgrade yourself. Players like Gideon Mensah, you've been playing Auxerre for how many years now? If you are that good, Brighton and Co. will be looking at you to come for you. So the World Cup will give them a platform to improve and do also that scouts and agents will watch you and move you to bigger clubs. That's their personal motivation to go to the World Cup and do, or not the money that the government will even give them.
Yeah, a solid point from Addo. Manuel, I think just complete your wrap up with your
that's fine. So I'm particularly excited to see Sibo back in the squad, and you know, the question about why we get excited about new players in the squad and we forget the old ones. No, we are not forgetting Kudus. Of course, we love Kudus. We know Kudus is our star boy. But look, we are excited that we have one more guy we can rely on in the team.
And also add the fact that Kudus has been disappointing for the Black Stars in the last couple of games, especially in situations where he get open chances to bury the ball and he just blasts them wide. Let's add that as well. Once we are praising him, he deserves the praise. I mean, doing well for Spurs.
I don't think that's entirely fair. I mean, what in our last game for the Black Stars, Kudus gave an assist. I think he gave the assist for the first goal. I think he dribbled in the line and then cut a low cross back into the box and where the tapping was made. Look, personally, I think we are not playing against any big side and Kudus would not be in that team and we would play anything close to. He's the key to unlocking defenses for us. Look, Kudus takes the ball. Yeah, you can talk about how sometimes he's wasteful. You know, yeah, he's wasteful. I can go on. There's a whole list of players that are wasteful in the team. The Kamaudin, Sulemanes. There are players that should be scoring a lot more than they are in the squad. And see, that is another argument that people make about Coach Otto Addo. I feel like when you watch this crop of players, these Black Stars players in their club teams and the things they are doing for their club teams, they just do not replicate the same level kind of performance when they play for the Black Stars. It feels almost as if we are not getting the very best out of these players because we've seen, look, Semenyo is killing it for Bournemouth. Yeah, he scored like yesterday. Look,
even yesterday, just look at the dribble.
Look, man, you look at Semenyo at Bournemouth and then you look at Semenyo for the Black Stars and you wonder.
And you question stuff.
It's almost as if it's two different players.
Exactly.
But it's not. You see,
it looks like there's a fake Semenyo for the Black Stars.
That's what I'm saying. So, again, I feel like all of that comes down to the manager. Like, as a manager, yeah, one of your jobs is to get the very best out of the squad that you have. You are supposed to play them in positions where they can excel, where their strengths come to the forefront. You know, like, fix these players in places where they can excel, where they can shine. Kudus, Semenyo, goes to Bournemouth, and he's playing on the wings. He's playing as a winger, okay?
Yeah.
He comes to the Black Stars, and then at burst, you see him as a 9. At burst, you see recently
he lost 9. He lost.
Right. In Yaki Williams,
no instructions.
In Yaki Williams is killing it for Alec Bobau. He's a captain for crying out loud in the team. He's having great games. He comes to the Black Stars. He sits on the bench for about 60, 70 minutes. He's called into play, and then this guy makes all the runs in the world, and he never receives the ball. He's drawing blanks. I don't remember the last time he scored a goal for us. I mean, I think that was against Comoros, I think, when we scored 5. He came from the bench. That was so long ago, man. Iñaki Williams is so much a better player than what we currently see of him in the Black Stars. So, and it's a problem that we have generally with all the Black Stars players. You can talk of Kudus. You can talk of Andre Ayew, Fatau. Fatau Isaku, before this call-up, my God, was in sensational form for Leicester City. Let's look at these 2 games and see if you will see the Fatau that we see in Leicester City.
But to be fair to Fatau, I think that he's been one of the few players that comes into the Black Stars right from the blast of the whistle, right from his days at the under 23 level.
Yeah.
Look, he's been consistent.
And commits, yeah.
And you can see passing from the young man. Talk about his off-field attitude of, loving entertainment, being loud and all of that. When he dons the national team jersey, we see Fatau. We see, look, if our players can give us just what Fatau gives us, I don't think that we should be crying in games when we take on Comoros, in games where we play Central African Republic, because even Central African Republic themselves, look, let's not sit on the fence and say that we are going to do the job at Donate the Mekins in Morocco. But look, it is a big match for us because against Minos, like you said, Manuel, those countries, we really struggle against them. I don't know why, but we seem to struggle against big countries, small countries, and when we meet big countries, we want to prove a point. I don't know why it's supposed to be so.
That's what we're saying. Look, the buck always stops with the manager, okay? He's the first person you go to when you're demanding responsibility. You have the power. You've been given a budget. You've been given... Look, literally, you've been given the whole world to pick players, Ghanaians of various descent, okay? You can call up anybody you want, whether they were born in the country or whether they have Ghanaian lineage. You have this room to craft something and then use what you have. Look, I always say, even for club football, yeah, a team's success comes down a lot to the capabilities of the manager. And so, look, we saw Bournemouth before Areola took over. We saw Aston Villa before Unai Emery took over. I can give you countless examples.
Yeah.
Managers, coaches, proper coaches will take over a team and you will see significant changes. And so, look, for me, I think the buck always stops with the manager. He's just not good enough.
Okay. But you are satisfied with the squad, right?
I can't really make a lot of complaints about it. I think, yeah, he has a lot of players he called on in our last game, right? So we have Benjamin Asari. Look, over the past years, if you follow the Ghana squad, you know we've had the problem with our number one, our goalkeeping department. It's been a long problem for the Black Stars, but it seems, at least for now, that is becoming a thing of the past. Benjamin Asari has been keeping goal for us, and he's been doing quite well. And so he maintains he's probably going to maintain his spot in the squad. I like to see Ali Dusedu back. I think before he had his injury, he was quite solid for us, and now he's back in the team. Jonas Ajete, FC Basel. I had a bit of an uncertainty when you called him the last time because I watched him for FC Basel, yeah, and I'm not even kidding. In about the last 5 games he played for FC Basel, he would get red carded like in 3 of them. Jonas Ajete loved red cards, and so when I saw him in the first call up, okay, when he made his debut, I was like, Jesus Christ, we called this guy, right? But he seemed to come on and he did quite well. So I mean, he's probably the only one I'll have issues with. And then Mohamed Salisu has not been playing for Monaco.
Before you come in, let me go to Tufo have a few comments to make. Tufo, I mean, you've heard Addo, you've heard Manuel. I mean, do you have any counter argument? Tufo, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, Tufo, you've heard Addo, you've heard Manuel. Do you have any counter arguments?
My only argument is the reason why we are excited about Kwesi is that we've not had an exciting defensive midfielder in the shape like him for a while. Let me say, I'm not saying he's extremely 10 over 10, 5-star performing midfielder in there, but when you've looked at Samet, when you've looked at Suleimana, Elisha Owusu, you see Kwesi is a different breed and he offers a lot. So I think that has been the main issue. That is why we are enjoying him at the moment. And again, I would say we have not shifted away from Kudus. It's just that we know he's a reliable guy we can trust. But up front, when Kudus is not there, who is giving us the goals? And we should thank Thomas Frank for what he has done with Kudus in the few moments that he's worked under him. Now he's playing out wide. He's creating more goals. He's created like 3 goals for Tottenham Hotspur. He comes to the Ghana Black Star setup. He creates another goal. For me, as an attacker, I'm okay. If he's not scoring, he's supposed to be creative. That is it with Kudus. But again, you come back to how we know him to do. He's always scoring for us, but he needs help. Amongst the Semenyo, the Inakis, somebody should be there to step up to score. That is why I'm excited with Isaaku joining the setup. He has matured. He's not cutting in to shoot. He's opening up spaces. He's dribbling. He's linking up. He's also creating, and he can score as well. So it's going to be exciting to see how the forward line gets to work with a lot of creativity behind them. Look at Kudus behind this front 3. Look at Partey behind this front 3. The more supply we get, the more we can get Inaki to be scoring like he does in Atletico. The more we can get Semenyo to be causing a lot of problems and scoring for our defense. So for me, I think it's good enough, but we should look at our left back position. Maybe it's a conversation for another day. I think Gideon Mensah should be challenged by someone out there. We should scout and then get another person to give him a tough chance. Ebenezer Annan comes in, he's not given the chance to play. So we can't really assess him. Maybe if he can give him the nod to play, we can assess him and then we finally get our solid left back going into the World Cup. Hopefully, if we can qualify, of which I believe we will do. So I'm okay.
Well, so that is for I believe that Gideon Mensah is not being challenged enough at that left back position. Well, we would have to. It's exactly 11:34, and you're still listening to Weekend Sports Rally here on Z 101.9 FM, and our phone line is well activated on the number 054-432-1019. You can send us your messages, or at the later part of the show, we'll activate our call line, and you can do that, especially on the long line 030-39-56-641. It's now time to shift to other conversations. And look, shockingly, it looks like Ange Postecoglou seems to be swimming in Nottingham's forests. I don't know how deep that forest seems to be, but it looks like in 100 years, he's the first forest manager to have failed to win a game in the last 6 matches he's played in charge of that particular the City Ground outfit, and it's very, very disappointing. And when you look at it, just a quick run, they were lashed by Midtjylland in the Europa League 3-2. Quite a shocking one. And when you hear the chorus from the stadium that were chanting that he should be sacked the following day, I mean, it's disheartening. But that has been the story so far with Nottingham Forest. Addo, what do you make of Ange Postecoglou?
Well, I feel bad for him. I feel like he didn't really analyze the club he was going in for. The profiles they have at Forest is not what he would like to use. So I'm surprised he went in for this job. I don't know the conversation that went on between him and the Spurs owner, who's a little bit loud and active with the team. I feel like he should have gone on a sabbatical for a year, analyze what he has done with Spurs, with Celtic and co, and just sit back and relax and go for the right team at the right time. This means he might be sacked very early because you are not winning games. This manager too is somebody who loves to win games. Now, the way they treated Nuno Espirito Santo was not even the best. I mean, the only black coach in the EPL, and I was happy that he was doing a good job with Nottingham Forest. I feel like they were not fair to him. We know of the off the field events that happened with the owner. It wasn't the best. We were supporting the black coach, but for bringing on board this man who has one particular idea, doesn't change the idea. Positional football, and also with an interesting high line, keep the ball, create width, and use the middle as spaces. It works for players who have pace. It works for a number 10 who knows how to deliver the ball, not Gibbs White. Gibbs White is so lazy off the ball. On the ball, he wants to overdo stuff. I've seen a Gibbs White that last season he played so was productive, but this season he wants to impress and overdo because maybe he had a transfer rumor with Spurs. So I feel like Angie didn't relax. He should have gone on sabbatical for a year. Analyzed. I feel like he's even good for the Spanish league more than the EPL. So like he should have waited for probably the Atletico Madrid job if Simeone is finally sacked. A job that the project makes sense. They will bring you materials that suit your system. You go for those young Forest who play a low block, and now you go in there. They are trying to now get accustomed to your system, and they are struggling. They are not winning games. You get me? So I feel like this job was not his job to take. I mean, maybe he just wanted to prove a point in the EPO again. Nottingham Forest going for low block coaches. They're going for coaches that come and hit on the counter, not you and your type. So wrong appointment, emotional appointment, and he also should have waited for a while to get a new job. I feel like it won't work out for him there.
Wow. I just said emotional appointment. Very, very, very crazy for him, because when you watch his demeanor, in fact, under less than 1 month, it looks like the man has added 2 years to his age, and it's quite crazy.
But you left Spurs winning the trophy. You left the stage where the applause were high. So relax. Now, who will remember that you're a Europa winner? Nobody will remember that. Because you are losing games every week at Nottingham Forest. So I feel like it's super, super awful. Like, you shouldn't have even taken the job in the first place.
Well, so we'll keep you updated in what is happening in the English Premier League, because the game involving Leeds and Tottenham Hotspur just began, and we'll keep you very, very updated. It's 0-0 at the moment. But Manuel, it's not been the best of rain for Ange Postecoglou with Nottingham Forest. They were trashed by Midtjylland 3-2 in the Europa League. What do you make of that?
Personally, I tend to want to agree with what Adjo just said. I feel like he just seems, I think he seemed it from day one that he was just not the right kind of manager you'd expect a Nottingham side to have. Look, this is a Nottingham side that a couple of seasons ago had one of the best defensive records in the league. Okay, I think it was under the Portuguese that they sacked Santos. They were flying high when they were making that charge for the European sports last season. their defense was that solid. They would not concede. They would not concede. You can play all the ball. You can have all the ball. They don't have a problem with you having the ball when you face up against them. They will watch you play all the ball. You just would not pass. You will not score a goal. Okay. Sales was in the conversation. Their goalkeeper Sales was in the conversation for goalkeeper of the season. That is how great their defense was. And then fast forward, Angie takes over, and all of a sudden, they are conceding. But again, who is surprised here? Certainly not me, because if you know Angie Postecoglou, if you saw Angie under Tottenham, you know that Angie is not the type who is going to want to sit back, who is going to want to defend hard and then hit someone on a counter-attack. No, that is not Angie's football. Angie likes playing risky football. Angie likes having such a high line that it's almost like you are walking 100 kilometers to his goal. Angie will set offside traps rather than actually do some defending. Okay? So, yeah, that is just the wrong guy for this job. Look, clubs have identities, okay? And this, I feel like United is suffering a lot of that problem too.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
You look at your identity. No, I'm not going to United. I mean, if I go to United, my God, we will take a whole day.
Definitely, we'll go there.
But no,
United fan.
No, I'm Hala Madrid. No.
Okay.
Hala Madrid. So,
lucky for
look,
you.
look, clubs have identities, okay? So, look, CEOs, club presidents, club owners, Jesus, for crying out loud, look at your identity and then make appointments that would sync, okay? That would coincide. That would just make it feel like you're not putting a square peg in a round circle. Let the person you are appointing as your manager, as your head of football, as your scouting head, let them understand that this is the philosophy we have. This is the kind of football we want to play. And then appoint someone who believes, who thrives in that. Look, Tottenham and Angie and Nottingham Forest, you place both teams side by side and it's a stark contrast. They are so different in the way they approach games. They are so different in how they play their football. And look, I feel like this was just going to happen. It was just a matter of time.
It was a timing. Is it? How do we even say that? Is it a tiny bomb or a sticking bomb?
Right. It was timing bomb. It was just waiting to explode. Boom.
But look, it's very frustrating. 3-2 against Midtjylland.
Midtjylland were not really in great form themselves. If you look at Midtjylland's form before they played that game, it was not great. Okay, so I mean, all the pundits had Nottingham winning, and for good reason. Look, Nottingham signed a lot of players, and it's not the first time. Look, their owner, the Greek guy, he has money. He's dusted, and he's bought players. Okay, he's bought a lot of players. You would expect that. Look, if a manager comes in and they have all these guys that they've signed, you have players getting national team call up. Anderson was called up for the England national team. Okay, you have players who would go into their national teams and start playing. So what's the excuse here? I don't think the players are. Wood was firing. Last season, Wood was going toe-to-toe with Haaland for the Golden Boot. So eventually he lost. But yeah, he was going to lose. Look, Haaland was playing for a Manchester City team. Of course, he was going to lose that battle. But the point is, Wood is more than efficient as a number 9. Okay? So why is Wood struggling? Why is Morgan Gibbs-White, who was headed for Man City and then Tottenham late in the transfer, these big clubs wanted Gibbs-White for a reason. He's that good. He's a very good number 10 to have. But under Angie Postecoglou, he seems to be struggling. Okay, so what are we saying here?
Yeah, and to add to what my brother is saying, you see, the profiles he even have, the style he even plays doesn't even suit Chris Wood. Chris Wood is like a focal point number 9 where you have to play through him and get your goals with using the half spaces. But he needs a ball playing number 9. So for me, I'm very surprised he went in for this job. Chris Wood in your system will never work. I watched 3 games of them, and Chris Wood is like, he doesn't exist in the games. He's lost. He won't score the goals he scored last season because the system will never favor him or even favor the team. In his style, they play possessional pace, like ball playing number 9s who will drop deep, link up play, and create space for the wide area, for the wide players. But Chris Wood will just be there in the box around the D, waiting for the ball to come. Like link up and you score. So even his striker and his system does not even match So how is he going to get goals and score? So it's a bigger problem.
Manuel, let me not leave out Tufo, who is on Zoom. Tufo,
Yeah.
I mean, the Nottingham Forest conversation, before I return to Manuel, what do you make of it?
Well, first of all, I agree with Addo perfectly in his earlier delivery on the Postecoglou issue. Listen, at age 60, you should be thoughtful about your decision making in terms of the team you want to get into. The Nottingham Forest team doesn't suit his style. Every manager has his philosophy, his style, his principles of play. Postecoglou, as we know, as Manuel rightfully described, he's a possession-based, high line. He wants to build up from the back, smooth, champagne kind of football. As he also said, maybe he will be best suited to the Spanish La Liga. Then again, you look at the profile of players that exist within the Nottingham Forest team. Addo is making an example of Chris Wood. He's a typical target man. Hit the ball to him long, he runs into it. Not necessarily even the half spaces. You just target him up front. He gets the ball, holds up play, see who is joining. He either turns to shoot or he gets heads up high and heads the ball in. So clearly his decision making was wrong to accept the Forest job. Then again, you also look at Nottingham Forest. Are they eating their own pie? Because for some, it's karma to them. They didn't serve right Nuno Espirito Santo. He's the kind of manager you want with your squad. He gets the job done for you, gets you to Europe, then you end up sacking him. So it is one of those things. And again, you always be in pressure because without any preseason, without any player you think you can build around or know that match, when you walk into a Premier League squad with no preseason and probably 2 or 3 games into it, you are always going to struggle. Pep Guardiola will even struggle when he walks into teams he has not had preseason with, he has not had much knowledge about. So I think it's wrong on the part of Postecoglou to decide to go to Nottingham Forest. And secondly, I think the people at the top for Nottingham Forest should have gotten a manager in the same mode of Espirito Santo or any caretaker manager who is known to do the job for a while and then later they do the proper planning. Now he's on the verge of being sacked. 6 games without a win, conceding 13 goals, losing 4 games. You can't make a case for yourself here. And the matches are coming thinner and faster. You lose at home in Europe, you lose at home in the Premier League. What good of it will it make for you? So I think only a miracle can save him. Other than that, after the international break, he might face the sack. Thank you.
Well, so very, very solid points. He might as well maybe consider his decision. I mean, a result or something. But I've got a lot of messages here on my console. Thank you to our Facebook community, Weekend Sports Rally, and even those who are joining us on YouTube. And there's one from Facebook here. This is from Michael Abu Bonsra, and he says that Otto Addo should be sacked after the World Cup qualifiers. He ain't a good coach, and that is what Abu is saying over there. Well, that's his idea. Well, other messages that are trickling in. Also, this is from Kojo Pipra around Tema. He says that, look, guys, I love the argument, but look, let us not go there. Otto Addo cannot be sacked. Well, that is from Kojo Pipra in Tema. Then Amma have not added her location. Amma, please kindly add your location next time so that I'll acknowledge you. But she says that, look, Kudus is my poster boy, and please don't mention any other player. Well, that is Amma for you. She failed to add her location. Then this is coming in from Prince Fosuhini, and he's sending this one from Ajigano, and he says that, look, I think that Nottingham Forest decline in form has to do with the fact that they were playing really well last year, maybe diminishing return. That is Prince Fosuhini from Ajigano. Then also, this one is also coming from Charles Santi, and he sent this one from La Paz. He says that, guys, I am really, really enjoying this show. Shout out to Addo and Manuel in studio. So, guys, that are some of the messages that have been trickling. Let's wrap up on this Nottingham Forest conversation. Addo, in 1 minute, what do you think should be the way for Nottingham Forest as far as returning to success is concerned?
No, I feel like the owner of the club should calm down. I mean, you have two clubs. Focus on the other one two more, and leave this English team to do what they have to do. Before, even if you are not there, you have people in place that can lead or run this club for you. I think he's too much into the club, like being at the dressing room, being at the stadium, talking to coaches on the field of play. Just give them the money they need or the revenue they need to do the job, and they'll do it. For me, if they sack this coach, I'll be like, okay, what's the plan of the team? The owner, what's the plan from your end? Maybe go into the junior transfer with them, bring in one or two profiles in different departments that can help him adjust to how he wants to play. That he's not relegated, because the way they are playing looks like they'll be relegated. I feel like he should just, take a break from the team, because he's too much into the. Some players don't like it that the owner of the club is always there. Who are they going to listen to, the coach or the owner? You should just calm down, take a break, go back to Greece, go there and have fun with Olympiacos. That's the team he also owns there, right? Go there and focus on them. Nobody cares about Olympiacos in England. So he should just go back and relax, because he's too much. I said, he's too much around the team. Some players won't like that. It doesn't help. You are the owner, you are the bank ruler. We know. Calm down and let them. Because what they did last season, they could have done more this season.
It's like Ofechon. He's doing too much.
Yeah, Ofechon is like FAP. It's too much. He's just come. For me, the profiles are okay. From the goalkeeping department, this guy, the Anderson guy, is being targeted by Liverpool and United. I know. So it means they have quality, and he doesn't even want to sell players to make money. He wants to win trophies. Because his team in Greece has won the trophy before. Yeah. So just calm down, give them the requisite requirements, and they'll do the job for you. You should just relax for them.
I've got a exciting message here, but before I do that message, let me go to Mano. Mano, 1 minute, your conclusion of this whole Ange Postecoglou issue.
Look, I still maintain my initial submission. Look, I think he was the wrong man for this job. And look, I touched on the kind of team Nottingham was under Nuno Espirito. And just to give you a fair idea, okay, this was Nottingham Forest's home record against the big six in the Premier League last season under Nuno, okay?
Yeah.
They won 1-0 at home against Tottenham, okay? That was the Tottenham under Nuno, under Ange Postecoglou, by the way. They won 1-0 against them at home under Nuno. They drew 1-1 against the eventual winners, champions, Liverpool, right, at the Forest grounds. They drew 0-0 against Arsenal under Nuno last season, and then they won 1-0 against City last season. Do you get the picture?
Yeah.
They do not concede. I told you, they were a very, very, very close-knit team. There was no space to score against Nottingham last season, but now it feels like the floodgate has been opened. That is it just feels like it's such a huge fall from where you were and then where they find themselves now.
From grace, to grass.
To grass. It's just not acceptable. I think something has to be made, and I think eventually it will end up with Angie being sacked.
Tufo, what's your final take on Ange Postecoglou issue?
Yeah, the question again. Wow.
I'm saying that what do you think? What is your concluding remark on this Ange Postecoglou and Tottenham Forest winless streak?
Yeah, I think per his experience and quality, he should be able to get them through the line and survive before the international break, and then have a rethink about the whole squad. He will get ample time to prepare. But I still think it's the wrong decision from him, and then the wrong decision on the part of Nottingham Forest as well. He can only hope for a miracle, because the Premier League is ruthless. It will punish you. And you've heard what Ruben Amorim has said, that this league is on a different level at all. He may have done it with Spurs, but it's a different terrain on a Nottingham Forest side that has players not so much according to his profile. So for me, he can only hope for a miracle. That will buy him time. And then he gets to plan again and probably change the system, as the change of system has been the wide conversation or the popular conversation in the last month, especially in the Premier League. So let's see if he's able to buy time with 2 wins, then he can get ample time to perform.
Wow, interesting stuff there from Tufo Junior, but wrote Martin Stell has given Tottenham Hotspur the lead. I beg your pardon. And when you watch that game, Kudus is balling. Kudus is balling. We'll be coming to the big one, Liverpool and Chelsea. But hold on. Just keep your log tuned in because we'll be delving into that issue. But I have a very exciting message here from a very good friend, and he says that he said, I always knew Ange Postecoglou was not going to flourish at Forest when I heard he was being linked to the job. Happy belated birthday to me, and I'm enjoying the show. Oh, Justice. So, happy birthday to you from all of us here in studio, from King Addo, from Manuel, even Pius, who is here with us. Asak Pius is here with us, and he's watching on. Happy birthday to you once again, Justice. And as I've already told you, Tottenham Hotspur is leading Leeds by goal to nil. Just 24 minutes into the game, and that is the news that is trickling in. Well, now let's focus on Manchester United because it's been back-to-back pressure for the Portuguese manager or tactician Ruben Amorim. And I don't know, but he seems to be very brave anytime he faces the English press and has always maintained that it is not about the system. I don't know. And, interestingly, he's also not propounding any reason for what exactly the problem seems to be. But when you ask me from a layman's perspective, I would say that yes, I may agree with Ruben Amorim a bit to a certain extent, knowing well that in the summer transfer window, when he was requesting for a midfielder, the owners decided to buy a high-profile striker instead of the midfielder the coach was requesting for. But far from that, in terms of his starting lineup, is that even the best he could be using in games? That is another question, and maybe that one you can pin into the manager. But I don't know what Addo thinks. I don't know what Manuel thinks, and even 2-4 thinks. Addo,
you know what we think. Obviously, you know what we think. When it comes to United, you should know what we think, and it's always the same old story about Amorim being stubborn and not wanting to at least tweak the tactics or change something in his system. I don't like stubborn coaches. I don't like coaches who don't want to be pragmatic, and the arrogance that comes with this coach it's mind-busting because you were doing so well in Portugal. And this I'm saying everybody listening to us knows what we are about to say. And that makes it so boring to even discuss from another point of view. Yeah. You were doing so well in Sporting CP. You come to a league where you have to at least in every game and how you approach the game. You are playing Leeds today. They are going to press you high in your half. You know that you have to at least tweak something there. Then you go to Everton with David Moyes. You know, okay, probably a low block system. So every game, the profiles you have to use might change. That is what the EPL demands. Every game in the EPL, you have to be prone to set pieces details. Every game in the EPL, you have to remind your players about these annoying referees in this league. So one game in the EPL is like, you can take 50 days to prepare for one game. But just have a week to prepare for a game. Yeah. So I'm always to know that I have to just be pragmatic and change my style to some extent. We have three types of, there are so many types of table system, but the three main ones we know, the 3-4-3, 3-4-2-1, and 3-5-2. You are playing a three-back system. You can choose any of these ones, look at the profiles you have, and approach these systems with the games you are going to play. This man said, no, I'll do a 3-4-2-1. It's not even the complex one, the easiest one among all the three back systems, and he'll still be found wanting. And he will play a game, and he will bring Maguire in the second half. I'm like, what are you doing, gentlemen? The only coach in the world that does defensive saves when he's down by 2 goals or like some. I don't know. You see, it's sad. I've been preaching, and the funny thing is that if you listen to me on all platforms, I knew it won't work. When I said that, okay, come into this job, be pragmatic, change your style, adapt to games. And one thing that is even killing him is how he doesn't know how to manage games. He's bad with in-game management. It is so poor. Again, the EPL requires that as a coach, You have to know how to manage games. That is what Thomas Frank is doing so well now.
Yeah.
Last season, Maresca picked that well and became fourth. They are managing games. You can manage games by defending so well or having the ball, keeping possession. Two basic ways. But for this man, he doesn't know how to manage games. He rather prefer not to watch penalties or be there and make funny saps. So it is not going to work. And I've been spot on from all angles on my show already and other platforms. It is not going to work. Now they are confused whether to sack him or not to sack him. If you sack him, you are giving him £12 million or 12 million euros. Are you going to pay that money? No. You've brought in players for him. Now, I think the thing they had a good window, but it was a 6/10 window for me because now you have Cunha, an attacking midfielder. Come. You have Mason Mount, you have Bruno, you have Mbeumo. Luckily for you,
you have Benjamin Sesko.
Yes. Sesko is number 9. Zeski can play. He says it's a half 10. 9.5. You have like 4 attacking midfielders. One can play as number 9. Maybe in the case of Mbeumo. Fair enough. But the remaining three, they are all number 10s. And you are playing a double 10. You often want to play Bruno as number 6. Doesn't make sense. Bruno is a number 10. So if you are playing Bruno number 10, you are playing Mbeumo number 10, Sesko number 9. What happens to Cunha? So they shouldn't have gone in for 2 similar profiles in the market, Cunha and Mbeumo. Impulse buying. It was wrong. And I said it on authority that Cunha will not sit up at United. And so far, he's doing that. He's listening to me. Because he's not playing well. Like Adesika on and off the ball, I mean, he takes baby shots. His body language alone can make you detect that he's not going to play so well this season. And it's working. Maybe they'll change things about him. So it is not helping him. And when it comes to defense too, aerial diagonal balls always a problem for United. They cannot clear balls aerially. They cannot clear diagonal balls. Luke Shaw and Maguire. And the kid that I admire so much that is doing so well, in the person of Euro, he often benches him. So what is this coach doing? Has he been sent to take them down, or he wants to just be a history man and create crazy? Because if you've not won back-to-back EPL games,
and you're on Manchester United,
Crystal Palace bought a coach called Dubois. I'm really sure these records are even good than Amorim now. Back-to-back wins, you can't get that in the EPL. You can only score Chelsea because it's Chelsea. Obviously, Chelsea will just give you that niche to feel like you are super good.
You're Chelsea.
My Chelsea, my brother. My Chelsea, they'll do that for you. They will spoil there for you. So for me, it's not going to be a good marriage. They should cancel it fast, but they are scared. It's not going to. He's not even. Now we are hearing that when he goes to training ground, solo movement. He's there alone, thinking, feeling emotional, agitated, like emotional driven. I don't know what's wrong with him. He should just go back to the drawing board, learn. If this guy can adapt to even the 3-4-3, and you see, when you play the 3-4-3, people like Dogu will know that, okay, now when I go wide to the left wing and Mason Mount is there, Cunha is there, I know that I can link up with him. I can double up there with him, and I'll be what? Effective. When I'm playing the double 10s, it is complex. Players like Cunha have to adapt because at Wolves they will play a single 10. They know that all the ball passes through them. Now they don't know how to communicate with their partner 10 to move. So it's a problem. So they are lacking tactical ideas from every part of the pitch, and that's a problem for them. So it's not going to work today against Sunderland. They can just win the game by maybe some mere margin, but even Sunderland are playing well. But they play well at the Stadium of Light, not away. That's the only merit United has. But for me, it's not going to be. And then if you want to move away from me a pundit and say, okay, Chelsea fan, City fan, they are happy. Oh, they want Amorim to stay for like 10 years. Be there, give him a new contract, let him enjoy what he's doing there because it's not going to work. It's not going to work. The pressure is too big for him. Bringing a new coach, people keep asking, who should come in for this job and do well? For me, when you say bring in the Crystal Palace squad, I said, no, don't go and disturb that man. Allow him work with Palace in peace.
Oliver Glasner.
Yeah, maybe Glasner can even, make top 5 this season, make top 4 because of how detail prone he is. He's playing a similar system. 3-4-3, 3-4-2-1. They've replaced Eze with Pino, and they're playing so well because the instructions are there. He's detailed. All the requirements of the EPL to win games or to at least get a draw. He has it there. Amorim, you don't. So I kept on saying that the only coach who can do this job was Max Allegri. People didn't agree with me. Now, look at what he's doing with AC Milan now. Attacked AC Milan, he went there, and now he's beating the big boys. Top 3, he's there now. That coach is so good, but because of not winning the European trophies, we don't really give him his flower. But that guy, I really rate him. So for me, why you... unless Ferguson comes and takes the job. Yeah. Unless he comes back. Come back. Lucky Mesa, come back to us.
Absolutely. I think Justice from Peaceland has got a message here regarding Ruben Amorim. He says that I believe Amorim is one stubborn manager, and that will get him sacked when the owners are fed up with his excuses. It's as simple as that, Vector. Tufo, I'm sure Tufo is a staunch Man United fan. He has not told me, but I'm just guessing from the way he normally reacts anytime we mention Manchester United. Tufo, I mean, your reaction to Ruben Amorim's system, whether the players are not just having passion for the team, because you watch the players and sometimes you feel that, no, these players, they don't have character. Because in Manchester United, aside the coach, you as a player, you need to have character. And we are not seeing it from this team. Do you think that United have just gone down the drain, down? 2-4. Okay, so let me come to Manuel when 2-4 is ready, and I'll pick him. Manuel.
Yeah.
Do you agree with what Addo have said? Do you think that Ruben Amorim is the problem, or you think that it is the players who have not got attitude?
Look, I think everybody is at fault with United. I think the top guys, the hierarchy, the CEOs, the Glazer family, and the new guy, the Ineos guy, I think the back starts with them. The responsibility starts with them. I think since the Ineos guy took over, right, every decision he's made up until now can be called into question and should be called into question, including the appointment of Amorim. Then I come to Amorim too, and I think, my God, you are not helping yourself here, bro. Amorim is not helping himself at all. I mean, you can talk about players having attitude and players not feeling like they want to kill themselves for the club and all of that. People make that argument, and I think it's false, by the way. But look, these players are professionals. They know that this is what I do, and I get paid for it. If I fail or if I flop at doing this, if I suck at doing this, I'm probably gonna be jobless. I'm probably gonna lose my source of income. People tend to forget, but look, football is a job for people. Footballers are workers. They are earning their money from the games they play. I refuse to believe, it's like you telling me, I refuse to believe that a lot of these players who are fathers and family men, who have families, who have wives, would go onto a pitch and willingly, want to put up lackadaisical performances and willingly want to be laissez-faire about their attitudes and their performance and not show a lot of heart and not show courage. I refuse to believe that. Because, you see, what people forget is we saw a lot of these players before they came to United. And we still see them when they leave United. Should we talk about the players who have left United? No, should we get into that conversation? Because we all know, we all know how that conversation will end, don't we?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So no, I refuse to blame the players. I refuse to have that argument. It is just a non-starter, okay? No.
But are you saying that players don't have bad days with clubs?
No, of course they have bad days, but it's just. It's
but
one.
You mean for
It's
Amorim.
one in a while. Yeah, you have a bad game, and you know what? Let me tell you what. You have a bad game. That's when the manager is supposed to step in. Oh, Bruno Fernandes is my star man, but today he's playing really bad. You know what, Bruno? Come and take a rest. Let me put someone else on. That is where the manager is supposed to step in. Players, yes, will have a bad day, but managers are supposed to shield them. Look, I watched a game, I'll never forget. Casemiro was having quite a very bad game in that game. And I was like, Jesus, Amorim, where are you? that's where I expect the manager to see and be like, honestly, it feels like to me, yeah, I feel like a lot of managers, and especially with Amorim, I feel like when they stand on that touch line on the pitch, it's like they are blind. They can't see what we fans, it's like they can't see what we are seeing on the screen. Look, Casemiro was having such a bad game in that game, yeah? And I was like, my goodness, as a manager, that is where you're supposed to save the player from the situation. You know, players get injured, yeah? A player will have a concussion. Logically, you expect him to want to protect himself and go take a rest, go sit down just to be safe. Players will never quit a game even when they know it's in their best interest. That is when you, the manager, have to step in and say, look, brother, I know you want to keep playing, but it's just not working. Come and rest. Amorim has failed a lot of times systematically to stamp his authority as a manager, and he likes talking about, I can't, and you listen to him a lot of times, and it feels like he's blaming the players. A lot of the times, it feels like he's always complaining about his players not playing the way he wants, and it's not the system. It's not the system. It's what is it, man? What is it? Because look, I've made mention of this fact here. I feel like football, club football, and even national team football, as a sport, relies a lot on what a manager is capable of. I've said it.
Absolutely.
I saw Aston Villa before Unai Emery took over. I saw Bournemouth before Areola took over. I have seen teams struggle, be so bad, and then they make a change in management and appointment, and they hire a new coach, and before you know it, they are firing. Look, managers have a lot of say in the results of a club. A lot. I would dare even say that more than 60% rely on the performance of a manager. But then again, like I said, there's another 40 that I say I will put those blames on the doorsteps of the managers on the top rank of the top hierarchy. Look, Amorim spent 300 million in this transfer window. 300 million euros.
That's a lot of cash.
I don't want to have that talk about him not being back too. It's just not true. This is a United team that let Ten Hag filled his team with full of Dutch players. Ten Hag went for this defender, the Dutch former Ajax captain. His name is escaping me.
Is it
Matthijs de Ligt?
Yeah, De Ligt.
Ten Hag bought de Ligt. Ten Hag bought Dogu. Ten Hag bought... I mean, you can count the number of Dutch players that Ten Hag signed. And this money, United allowed him. You can never accuse United of being a club that does not back the manager. That is false. United will give you the money. United will buy the players that you want. People keep saying, there was talk about how Amorim wanted a Premier League proven striker in Oli Watkins in the transfer window. But the club bought Šeško, and how the sporting director felt like Šeško was the best business they had. Look, come on.
Even Oli Watkins himself, maybe.
Are we saying Oli Watkins in the league this season?
Yeah.
No. Šeško was banging goals for RB Leipzig last season.
Yeah.
Šeško is a fantastic player.
Yeah.
Bruno Fernandes is a fantastic player.
Yeah.
Go on, then let's go on. Have you seen McTominay for Napoli? Have you seen every single player that has left United? Have you seen Haaland for Napoli recently?
Champions League.
Even my own namesake, who was in the Italian Serie, Victor Lindelof.
Right. The problem is not the players, man. It's never been the players. Look, I'll say this. A manager once said, give me, I think that was Ferguson. He says, give me Zidane and give me 11 other wood, not players, dead wood players, and I'll win you I'll win the Champions League. You don't have to have star players. You don't have to have marquee players, 11 of them to be able to win games.
Yeah.
Come on, man. What are we saying?
I absolutely agree.
It's a team sport.
Yeah.
You have 11 players. They just have to be competent enough to know the basics of the game, and you can do marvelously. That's what I'm saying. Managers and their capability, more than 60% of the time, determines how well a club performs. And I think Amorim has just failed. Look, yes, Amorim before United, at Sporting, he ended a very long trophy drought for them when he won that Portuguese league for them. But a closer look at the numbers will tell you that Sporting team under Amorim, they were not the best at creation of chances. They were not the best. Yeah, they scored a lot of goals, but the numbers will tell you that it was because the likes of Pedro Conclaves, the likes of
I think
Victor
Gyökeres
were outperforming their expected goal count. This man benefited a whole lot from players that were in red hot form. But look, I'm not gonna be oversimplistic.
But you know, another person, but another person who asks, was it not the same Amorim that was matching the likes of Manchester City and the rest in Europe?
So you see, that's what I'm saying. Even at United, he's not done badly against City, except this season. I think before this season, he had not lost to City in all the games he played against City. Look, there are a lot of these storylines in league football. Look, when you go to the German Bundesliga, right? Borussia Mönchengladbach. Okay, there's a club in the German Bundesliga, Borussia Mönchengladbach. Let Borussia Mönchengladbach be playing the worst football that they've been playing in the last. Let them have zero form. Let them come up against Bayern Munich, and they would win or they would draw. Their worst for that game is a draw.
There
are a lot of these storylines in league football. That's what I'm saying. United and City has one of those storylines. This is a derby game. No matter what you have going on that day, players, fans, and everything about that game just screams different. Let United be so bad. Let them play against City and they will play something. I won't put that on the doorsteps of Amorim. We've seen Amorim's United against Minos, against sides that you expect that, look, if even United has 10 players on the pitch, you expect them to win. And what do? They bottle it so bad. I watched them against Brentford recently, and in the very first 20 minutes, United were down by 2 goals. And I was like, what the hell is going on? This is Manchester United. And look, like I said, I can talk about the transfer policies of United of late and how I feel like I've not agreed. That's why I said the blame a lot. 40% of them can be put on the doorsteps of the Ineos owner and the new caretakers of the club. Look, I feel like the decisions they've made in transfer policies for a while now has not been the best. Because I look at the business that the likes of Chelsea, the likes of Liverpool, the likes of Man City are doing, the likes of Arsenal. I look at the business that these clubs have done in the transfer summer, and I look at what United do, and I'm like, yeah, there's a gap, there's a difference, you know. But then again, the crop of players that United have, and I insist, this is a hill I would die on, by the way. They are not players that should be struggling to get 3 points from games against Southampton, from games against Brentford. Look, someone said this, and I think it's very true. If Amorim took over United earlier than he did last season, they would have been relegated. The numbers say it's fact. Because after Ten Hag led that team, since Amorim took over, he's been the worst performing manager in the league. Worst. Okay, Ange Postecoglou that we spoke about a while ago even was better than this guy. His numbers has been so bad. And you see, the thing about, I think what fans, a lot of United fans is killing them. And I faced a lot of that as a Madrid fan when Carlo Ancelotti was in charge last season. Look, as a manager, speak to me. As a fan, speak to me with honesty. Be honest. Respect me enough to tell me what the problem is. Don't come and give me some diplomatic
talk.
You know, you're telling players that it's not the system. It's not the system. You're not flexible. You're a stubborn ass coach. You will not do that. Look, you know what a hallmark of a true manager is, bro? The hallmark of a good manager, and you've seen it with the very best managers. When you come up against a certain side, okay? Today you are playing City. Tomorrow you are playing a side like Brentford. These teams have different and unique attributes. They play different football. A very good manager is dynamic. A very good manager is flexible. He knows the 4-3-3 or the 3-4-3 I played against City would not work against a Nottingham side, would not work against a Tottenham side. I have to change. What does Amorim do? Amorim will tell you, no, it's not the system. It's not the system. It's not the system. and that is what I think is irking a lot of United fans. And for good reason. Look, if I were a United fan, I would go to Old Trafford and I would make the most noise. I would shout on top of my voice, and I would, whatever I can. If I have to sit on the driveway and make sure Amorim's car does not pass, that's what I would do. Get that guy sacked as soon as possible. And look, and that's when the owners will come in. Who do they appoint in the wake of Amorim leaving?
Wait, before you come in with that point of the conversation, let's go quickly to Ellen Road, because it is even at halftime. Noah Okafor has leveled matters for Leeds, and Tottenham Hotspurs are back to square one. Well, it's getting heated here on the Weekend Sports Rally on Z 101.9. And I tell you what, Ruben Amorim and his Manchester United issues. I've got a few messages here as well. Toby Atobra says that, look, I think that Ruben Amorim was playing in a Farmers League before coming to United. Alex AJ says that, look, I think that United should be bold and fire this guy. Atuhine is sending this one from Pig Farm, and he says that, Charlie, I am not seeing my team well at all. What is happening? So keep your messages coming, and we'll be very glad to read them for you. You can send the messages via the number 054-432-1019. I repeat the number again, 054-432-1019. And you can as well call in later in the show on the landline 030-39-56-641, and we'll be very glad to have you share your thoughts with us. But Manuel, I mean, you've had a lot of the bite before. Now let's head straight into that conversation. Whether United should be looking at prospective managers for replacement of Ruben Amorim, and one of the names that have come up strongly has to do with Oliver Glasner, who is having a fantastic time with Crystal Palace. And I'm sure Addo have mentioned Allegri, who is doing so well with AC Milan. There are so many managers that they can look at. I mean, you continue with that, then I'll come to Addo.
Okay, yeah. Look, I think it's a foregone conclusion, okay, that Amorim is not going to help this team. He has to be replaced. And the decision on who replaces him is just as much important as the decision of sacking him, okay? So we saw it, and it's under this new administration, okay, the Ineos group, since they took over United, the sporting activities of United, that's the clause that is signed. Since they took over, under Ten Hag, Ten Hag was a failure, clearly, okay? That was the decision they make. Now they've made Amorim. That well has ended in failure too. So twice they've had a bite of this apple, and they've messed it up. You made the wrong appointment with Ten Hag, and you've made another one with Amorim. You can't afford to get the third one wrong, okay? Because at that point you just really look like you don't know what you're doing, okay? You just look like you really have no clue, and I don't think that's the kind of reputation that they want. So United can't afford to get this wrong. Now, if you ask me my personal opinion on who I think would be best suited for this job, personally, yeah, I like a manager who, again, is flexible. I watched Oliver Glasner against Liverpool in the Community Shield, and again in the league. They beat Liverpool in the league. And look, people will tell you, yeah, managers have great performance there, but look, the thing I love about Glasner is, man, is he flexible with his lineup and his system. Oliver Glasner would play a 4-4-2 if he feels like that is what will get me the results. Oliver Glasner will play a 5-4-1 if he feels like, oh, that is what will get me the results. And for me, that is a manager I love. And that's why I'm so happy with my Xabi Alonso as a Real Madrid fan. Okay? Because I suffered personally as a fan under Ancelotti in his latter days. And look, we all love Don Carlo. I love Don Carlo, but my goodness, in Don Carlo's latter days, he was an Amorim. Don Carlo would field the same setup, the same lineup, lose against Barca miserably, and then go sit at a press conference. And when you listen to Don Carlo's press conference, you will even be more angry than you were before you even went to that press conference. And that's what Amorim has become. Look, I like managers who are flexible. That's me. So even with Barcelona, Hansi Flick is playing a very high line currently. And we all saw how that fared against a Paris Saint-Germain team. Okay? A manager who is stubborn, a manager who insists on not changing his tactics against different opponents will always pay the price. And that's what Amorim is doing. Hansi Flick suffered it in this Champions League that we played against PSG recently. Managers understand that every opponent you meet is different. Every opponent you meet plays different football. See, Maresca, I know Chelsea, Ajo is a Chelsea fan, so this one goes. I love Maresca for that. Maresca is not rigid. Maresca would listen to his subordinates when they tell him, I think we should try this. Maresca would try things differently. And so, look, I feel like that's what United need. Because the United team you have right now is in a bit of a limbo, okay? You are now having... You need a new identity for United team, okay? United need a new identity. This club has to go back to the basics. They have to start from scratch, from zero. Your transfer policies has to change. You can no longer be signing one season wonders for 60 million euros. You can no longer be signing players that just, scream, hey, good business, but in due diligence, it's not good business. And that's what United have been doing. They have to go back to the drawing board. They have to realize that they are not the big club they were anymore. United, at the moment, is at par. Look, United is not even Bournemouth and Aston Villa size anymore. United has fallen that low. United can no longer rub shoulders with the likes of Liverpool, Arsenal, and City. No. Chelsea, no. You are no longer a big boy. Start from zero. Get a manager who will trust in your youth system, 1. Get a manager who is flexible, 2. And get a manager who will sign players not because they are of a Dutch nationality. Sorry. That was a dig to Ten Hag, by the way. Yeah. Get a manager who will sign players because he thinks they have the quality, okay, that he needs to make this team play the way he wants for them to be able to win. Winning above all else, people. Ten Hag, or Arteta, will tell you that. Winning. If you have to play haram football, if you have to score goals from corner kicks to win games, that's what you do. As a big club, you win no matter what. And that's what Ten Hag and Amorim have failed to understand. Amorim, your 3-4-3 is not working. Pack your bags and leave. You won't change, just go. Hire a new manager who will get the job done.
And to add to what my brother just said, bringing in a new manager, it will be difficult, but one thing that he should have is knowing how to massage the egos of these Man United players. That's the biggest Achilles heel of all the managers that have come to pass.
Yeah.
They don't know how to manage the egos of these profiles at United.
But I think Don Carlo has done so well in his Madrid days.
Yeah.
I mean, managing the big boys.
Exactly.
And personally, and personally, I think that's a solid point because look, you cannot work with people who you have banter with every day. They will not give you the results. I'll just continue.
Yeah. So for me, because in recent times, look at Ten Hag, look at Amorim. When they come there, they want to argue with these players. They want to fight these players. But they are the main stakeholders of what we are doing. They play the football on the field of play. You don't have to have beef or have a rift with them. Just if you want to even fanfu them, you can fanfu them. Sancho, Amorim, you can convince this guy to play for United.
Yeah.
In a 4-2-3-1 stand wide. He will play once you found a way to enter his head. He's a human being, he's a player. But they always want to be right with these players. And that's what is bringing them from the days of Mourinho, Ten Hag, and now Amorim. Look at Amorim and Garnacho. Look at what happened. And this guy, he wants to play final. He doesn't want to play final. So if they don't bring in a coach that can come in and be friends with these players, they're always going to be the same United. So they have a lot of things to solve. Like 10. Where do you start from? That's the big question.
Start from zero, bro.
Well, we almost hitting the top of the hour. We're almost hitting the top of the hour, 12:30, and this is where we would have to take a short break. And when we return, we delve into the big game, Chelsea versus Liverpool.
9 FM, your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio.
Dream home no interest for 2 years. Are you ready to step into your dream home? With Lakeside Estates' exclusive offer, you can own your own home in just 2 years with no interest repayment. This offers you affordable payments, flexible home purchase plan, quality homes, and lifestyle choice. Choose from a variety of beautiful homes in any of Lakeside Hills clusters. Your future awaits you. Imagine living in a home you love with the freedom to invest in your dreams without the burden of interest. As your CIMG Real Estate Company of the Year for the 4th time, we offer you hassle-free home acquisition. Call us today on 020-477-5040 or 020-141-8622. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Call us now to learn more and schedule a tour for our available homes. T&C Supply. Make your dream a reality. Lakeside Estate. Quality homes for all.
In the heart of Accra, nestled in the vibrant neighborhood of East Legon and New Beacon, a 360 multimedia firm has emerged. Introducing ZED Multimedia. With a steadfast focus on lifestyle, leisure, and business, we set out to bring high-value oriented programs that captivate the taste and desires of our audience. From the captivating airwaves of ZED 101.9 FM to the dynamic visuals of ZED TV and the innovative realms of ZED Digital and the incubation of advanced technological knowledge at ZED Tech, every facet of modern media is meticulously curated to engage and inspire. Also, let's not forget the New Finder newspaper, now under the ZED Multimedia umbrella, delivering insightful journalism with a business focus. Join us on the journey where innovation meets inspiration, where lifestyle meets leisure, and where business thrives. Change is here. ZED Multimedia, your lifestyle, leisure, and business platform.
You're tuned in to ZED 101.9 FM. Your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio.
Well, thank you very much for sticking with us here on the weekend sports rally on ZED 101.9 FM. And still in studio with me is King Addo and, of course, Manuel, who has been doing a lot of bassing of Ruben Amorim and his tactics as well. But don't forget that we've now activated our phone lines, and from now you can just call and we will be very glad to pick them. You can do that via the number 030 39 56 641. I repeat the number again, 030 39 56 641. Or you can as well call us on the number 054 432 1019. Or you can leave a message on our console and we'll read them. Now, let's delve into the big one because at Stamford Bridge, it's two things. It's either the bridge will be broken this afternoon or Liverpool, who never walks alone, will leave walking alone. Addo, your Chelsea.
Yes, my Chelsea. And Liverpool are coming to the bridge like wounded lions. They are coming at the brink of back-to-back defeats. And let me even touch on Liverpool first. I think if people have been listening to my submissions on different platforms, I've been saying I'm not happy with how they are playing. Because if you look at the trajectory of Liverpool from last season, they went with a counter-attacking football under a new coach, which was like really already cooked by Klopp. So he came in and he was smart enough to do whatever he was doing there, which was fair. But this season, they went into the market and were doing some interesting signings, which I feel like, again, just like United, they thought it was very good, but it was tricky. When you go into the market and you bring in Hugo Ekitike and bring in Isak, what is the plan? Do you want to have two high-profile strikers, one on the bench, one playing often, or you want to drift one to the left wing for him to become a left winger and invert in? Or you have a tactical plan to play a double 10 where you overlap Kekes? That was the question I asked Liverpool fans. And also, they went into the market and brought in full-flying fullbacks. Frimpong, Kekes. Kekes, I think, had a balance because he's already used to the EP already. But for Frimpong, he had to adapt. And in adaptation, he got even injured. And Bradley was even there. And they had to revert Szoboszlai to come and play as a right back. So it started becoming an issue with how they control games. So Gravenberch came in and now he has to do everything in the middle of the park for them because he's on form and he's playing well on and off the ball. Fair enough. I'm not seeing the plan of slots with these fullbacks, number one. Number two, what's the plan for these number 9s that you've gotten? Isak will starting games. What happens to Hugo Ekitike, who has started the season so well, whilst you guys were fighting to bring on Isak. And now Liverpool are managing games because of the experience of Van Dijk, Konate, and Mo Salah.
Yeah.
We've not seen McAllister so far. So they are grinding the results, but when they meet a team that's properly prepared with the low block and has materials to punish you, there they were found wanting in Turkey and also at Selhurst Park. It became a problem for them, honestly. So I want to see Slots play and play well. Start your games well, control games, manage games. You've brought in full flying fullbacks. Make good use of them. What's the plan for Frimpong? Now, Salah is missing Arnold. Why? Because there's no Arnold to, overlap and create that space for him so that he moves into the half spaces and gets those shots to score. Frimpong has not adapted to the EPL. Bradley is defensively minded. And it is worrying, affecting Salah. But people are not seeing it because Mo Salah will score a penalty last minute and he gets his GA and he's gone.
People have rather said it is Man United who needs penalties to survive. This isn't.
But Mo Salah is struggling this season. I'm not surprised. Maybe he pick up later. So for Liverpool, Slots should know, mop up a plan with how he's going to play with the fullbacks. What's in the idea? What's the role of Kekes? What's the role of Frimpong? Are they going to be inverting? Are they going to be overlapping to help Salah? Because they are not playing well. Because of these few things I've mentioned. That's the Liverpool problem. So maybe they can come into this game. The Chelsea defense is in 6s and 7s, so maybe they can come to the bridge and get a win or draw. But for me, the way they are playing, if Arsenal can be injury-free, if Arsenal don't get that December curve where they often look funny, quote unquote, I feel like Liverpool might just hand over the title to Arsenal. But for Chelsea,
Arsenal?
Yeah. This is possible for them.
They are. Do we call them tenants?
We know, but this is maybe something special.
Okay.
Because if you look at what Arteta is doing with even the fullbacks like Calafiori and Timber, people don't talk about it, but he has evolved from last season. Now, Ben White is on the bench. Timber is playing well, offensively and defensively. The balance is there. Look at Liverpool. So for me, I want to just even throw this bomb on that the fullbacks of Liverpool and Arsenal can determine who wins the league this season. The fullbacks of Liverpool and Arsenal can determine who wins the league this season. Let's go to Chelsea. For Chelsea, we have our own issues. But I like what we did against Monaco. Maresca, he gave them the motivation to play against... Benfica, thank you.
Yeah.
I keep saying Monaco. I don't know why.
Maybe because Salisu is there.
Oh, no, he's not my guy.
Or maybe Salisu, Monaco has caused you some pain in the market.
No, maybe Zed will air for Monaco in 2 years to come.
Amen.
So yeah, for Chelsea, maybe we'll go with Badiashile. We'll go with Champon. But I prefer Hato. We play a 3-back system in our build-up. When we are building up, we invert one fullback. I don't see us inverting Gusto. So Gusto will be on the bench. James will play. But Chelsea fans, attention driven here. In the last 4 games of Chelsea, Rhys James has been making mistakes. Chelsea versus Brentford, Rhys James error. Chelsea Bayern, Rhys James error. Chelsea United, Rhys James error. But because he's our captain, because we like Rhys James, because we can't bash Rhys James, we all ignore that errors that come from. But right now, we are going to play as a right centre back. We play Badiashile as a central centre back, and we either play Hato or a Champo because there's no Chaluba, there's no Fofana. Yeah. So Badiashile, I trust to do a good job today, and we are inverting Cucurella. Yeah. Cucurella will partner Caicedo in the middle of the park, and we have our double tens in Esteval, Este, and Enzo Fernandez. On the left wing, I'll play Garnacho. On the right, I'll play Neto, and Joao Pedro as number 9. One thing Chelsea has failed to do this season is that we are not pressing well, and we are not counter-pressing also well, and that's where we miss Jackson. But we don't want to admit those facts. They are pure facts in Maresca's system that Chelsea is missing that pressing engine. But the irony here is that Jackson will miss the goals and press well. Joao Pedro comes, he's scoring the goal, but he's not pressing well. So which one do you want as a CFC fan? Go in, choose your gun. For me, in recent times, Joao Pedro is not playing well. He looks fatigued out, but he has to start pressing. In Chelsea's system, when Joao Pedro is pressing, or when Jackson was pressing last season, you have Vaikowo move from his space as the CCB. He will move into the middle and do a man marking there. When he does that, it will help Caicedo to also move into the opponent's half and press there. Whilst he's pressing, he counter presses when we lose the ball. That was the Maresca system. But now there's no Levi Cole and there's no Jackson. So who is counter pressing and who is moving from his half or his space to move into the midfield and try and mark somebody there? Levi Cole will leave the defense and come and mark somebody in the midfield. Serious man marking. Now give that job to Tosin. He can't even run. The pace is not there. So the profiles in Maresca's system, we are lacking something there. We miss Levi Cole and we miss Jackson, but we don't want to admit that fact that Jackson is being missed. What can we do in this game? You are going to play Bajashli. He is a little bit better with the pace. So we can go with that same routine. Soboslai needs to be marked out today. Yeah. When he's marked out, you push Caicedo into the Liverpool space half. He can also counter press and press there. If Chelsea doesn't start counter pressing again, we are going to lose game because those counter pressing was helping Chelsea's defense not concede goals. We've had a funny defense since last season, but because of Maresca's system, right at the end of last season, we were playing so well because the counter pressing was working. It was effective. It was active. But now it's not there anymore because there's no Jackson. So João Pedro has to start pressing, not leave the pressing for only Garnacho and or Neto. So the next problem I have with Chelsea, we are considering or getting red cards that are funny. I think Maresca spoke about this in his press conference. I think it will stop. But this is Anton Taylor today refereeing this game. If you touch the Liverpool player, yellow card. You smile, yellow card. You wave at your parents in the stands, yellow card. So everything today, yellow card. So the Chelsea players should be disciplined. Because obviously, if the red card comes to this game, nobody will be surprised. From Liverpool's end, with James and this referee, back-to-back red cards per start. So James should be careful today. So for me, I think Chelsea can hurt Liverpool with their fullbacks. So I need Garnacho to be active today. Also Neto, he has to be consistent with his 1v1s. Because Kerkez defensively has some weakness there. So for me, Chelsea can all get a draw if we can be disciplined. One, if our wingers can cook and we won't miss chances or make mistakes at the back. For me, Liverpool are going to this game the favourites, but at Stamford Bridge, we barely lose to Liverpool in recent times. I feel like get a result and go to international break. After international break, when you come back, your players will be back and you can start again. For Chelsea, I'll be happy if you win this game. Yeah.
I tell you, great submission from Addo. In fact, you don't know the Chelsea team better than him.
Are you sure?
I mean, he's a staunch.
Killers D.
I mean, but he just loves his club. That is what I want to put out. He just loves his club. I've also got a few messages. Kosia Frimpoma from Accra, Newtown, and she says that I love this Chelsea team. What a team Maresca is building. Hey, Kosia Frimpoma, yo, we've heard you. Then Kwesi from Ajigano, and he says that look, what Arne Slot is doing at Liverpool, I'm a bit disappointed because this was not the same Arne Slot we saw last year. And so those are some of the few messages that have just trickled in. And then Kofi has sent 3 fire emoji. He says fire, fire, fire. It means that he's really enjoying the show. And also Solomon is part of the ZED newsroom team. He says that I have opened it very, very loud. And I think the message just trickled in. And this one is, I think it's for Addo. And he says that Addo is making the right submissions on Chelsea. I hope we will win Liverpool today. Justice from Peaceland. Manuel, time to have you in.
So right off the bat, let me just say that an interesting stats for Addo and the Chelsea fans is that they've only managed a single win in their last 11 games against Liverpool. Interesting, isn't it? Interesting, isn't it?
Very, very.
Yeah. So for me,
that is just to tell him that he needs to, have a measured expectation.
Exactly. Look, for neutrals like myself who have no affiliations to this game, we will enjoy this game. It will be a beautiful game this afternoon, and I'm looking forward to watching it. Look, Liverpool are currently top of the table, right?
Yeah. Just a point above Bournemouth.
Yeah, Bournemouth. And Arsenal are yet to play. So if Arsenal plays, Arsenal gets back in there. But Liverpool are in a title race. They want to defend this title. These are the games you need to win, okay, to win the EPL. If you want to be EPL champion, come the end of the season, you win these games. And so, last season they lost this game at the Stamford Bridge, 3-1. But they were pretty much champions by the time that game was played. So, look, they've lost 2 games now consecutively, right? So if you are in a slot, you are thinking, oh, hold on, is my voodoo running out? Is my magic running out? Are we going to go on a losing streak now like everybody else? Or can we get back to winning? If you are Chelsea, you are excited, you are hyped because you know that Liverpool are not playing their best at the moment. 2 straight losses against Galatasaray in the Champions League and then against Crystal Palace in the EPL. So you feel like, you are in a better place, you are in a better form, you are in better momentum than Liverpool. And so I feel like, honestly, that goes for Chelsea tonight. I feel like because of the momentum and the form Liverpool have at the moment, Chelsea are slightly the favorite. But like I said, they have a very, very bad record against Liverpool. Just the 1 win in 11 games. A lot of these games, aside the last 2 that were played, ended in draws. You have the 0-0 draws, the 1-1 draws. A lot of them ended in draws. That is not great for Chelsea because, look, we've seen the Chelsea project. We saw it last season. Yes, it was a building. They were building the team to get to the place they wanted to get to last season. We weren't really expecting them to win anything last season, but they surprised us. They won the UEFA Conference League. They went on to win the FIFA Club World Cup. And so, can we all agree, Adjo, that Chelsea is past the building phase, okay?
Yeah.
We can agree.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Since Adjo, the spokesperson of all Chelsea fans in Ghana, has agreed that Chelsea are way beyond building, we can all expect fully that Chelsea can get back into contention, can compete for the EPL title. At the moment, they are a long way off, okay? They are a long way off on the points tally. They have to really, really get some wins in. And funny enough, it's great when you win against the person that is first, isn't it? If you want to win the league, Liverpool are champions. So if you want to win the league, Chelsea will have to make a very big statement by beating Liverpool today at the Stamford Bridge. Again, because it's at the Stamford Bridge, it slightly favors them because historically, the stats tell you that Chelsea are better off when they play Liverpool in the Stamford Bridge. So they've got that going for them. Look, let me talk about something. Adjo mentioned it, and I think, wow, Adjo really surprised me with that. A lot of people don't know this, but Liverpool are sorely missing Trent Alexander-Arnold. Yeah. When you watch Liverpool, you know that it's all about their fullbacks. Liverpool wants their fullbacks to join the attack, to invert and to outnumber their opponents in their half. So you have Trent holding the width far on the corner so that he makes those incredibly beautiful passes. Trent is no longer there. That is why, has anyone wondered why Arne Slot is playing a midfielder at right back? Hello, let it click. Come on, people. A midfielder known for passing is playing right back for Arnold, for Slot, for this Liverpool team. They are sorely missing Trent. And people, Liverpool fans, they were so bitter about Trent and none of that. But look, say what you want. Trent was that guy for you guys. Yeah. Trent was it. And so I
really agree. If I had a whistle here, I'd have blown it. Next week, I have to bring a whistle.
Look, I fully expect them to field Szoboszlai as right back again today. I fully expect them to do that. Yeah. I think Gravenberch is having a fantastic season for them. I think he's playing so well for them. He almost makes the absence of Szoboszlai from midfield almost makes it unnoticeable. But you miss something when you take Szoboszlai, who can shoot from any distance when he's attacking. Okay, but yeah, I expect him fully to join the midfield when they play today. Go invest in there and try to outnumber the Chelsea players in the midfield. Interestingly, Adjo, the last time you played Liverpool at Stamford Bridge, Caicedo started at right back. Interestingly. Yeah.
And Lavia started that game.
Yeah.
Lavia, yeah.
So today, it feels like because of the absences, Maresca will be strained. He has to he will not have that room or the freedom to start to try a lot of the things. So mostly the starting lineup for Chelsea should not change that much from the one that played. But the takeaway here is Chelsea's star man, the Cold Palmer.
Yeah.
Are we gonna see Cold Palmer in his glorious days?
Well, hold on a bit. Well, Mohamed Kudus
That's good.
has made it 2 for Tottenham Hotspurs.
First goal, finally.
Charlie, great form ahead of the World Cup qualifier, isn't it?
What form, bro?
Oh, well, that is just by way of updates on that particular game. I mean, Manuel, you can continue.
Yeah,
and finish
so
up.
I expect Cole Palmer to step up. You know, the last time we saw him at his brilliant best was in their Champions League defeat to Bayern Munich. Yeah, although they lost that game, Cole Palmer was fantastic for them. He scored a brace in that game. And look, he's Chelsea's star man. They need him to step up in the big games against the likes of Liverpool. Salah has been, like Addo said, he's not been at his best form. Yeah. A lot of it has to do with the absence of Alexander-Arnold again. Yeah. Although Liverpool fans won't agree, but I think a lot of it has to do with that. But if Chelsea's Cole Palmer gets his burst, and I think to a huge extent, if Cole Palmer has his day, Chelsea almost all the same has his day.
I think Cole Palmer is out injured, or
yeah, he's injured.
He's out injured. So,
yeah.
I mean,
we'll play Estevao in the middle.
Yeah.
Oof, Estevao at 10.
Yeah. And he has to start this game.
Yeah, I think it's a brilliant
He has to start playing game. The more he plays as a kid, the more he gets used to the pace of the EPL.
Interesting.
And the coach doesn't want to play him.
I mean, ideally, you wouldn't want to start a new strategy like playing Estevao for the first time at 10 against a side like Liverpool, right? But it's what they have to do if he's injured. So that again will be tricky. Look, form-wise, again, like I said, Chelsea seem to be in the better form. I expect them, because they are playing at home, they have their fans there. I expect them to have the edge, a slight one over Liverpool. But again, overall, the record for Chelsea is not great against Liverpool. Arne Slot knows he has to get a good result in this game if the talks of Arne Slot out should not be starting. So he would very much look forward to changing the trajectory of the results they've had so far. 2 losses, you can't make it 3 losses on a bounce. And so, personally, I think as a neutral, I think I'll go for a draw in this game.
Well, I think it will be a draw in this game. We have other matches as well: Arsenal, West Ham, Manchester United, Sunderland. As far as today is concerned, and when you go to the French Ligue 1, you have Metz vs Marseille, you have Auxerre versus Lens, and talk about the Italian Serie A. You have Lazio, Torino, Parma, Lecce. You have Inter, Cremonese. You have Atlanta, Como. And speaking about Atlanta, don't forget that is where Kamaldeen Suleiman applies his trade. And if you go to the La Liga, we have Real Madrid versus Villarreal. Thomas Partey's Villarreal will be taking on Real Madrid. Real Oviedo is losing to Levante by a goal to nil. It's already half time. Girona and then Valencia is yet to start. That game is at 2:15. Then Athletic Bilbao versus Mallorca. That game is also at 4:30. But guys, I mean, we have a few minutes to go, just 2 minutes to go. Now, what are your picks in Europe, across Europe? But before you do that, what is your Chelsea prediction?
Oh, I want us to win. I'm going for a win or a draw. I don't want us to lose the game. International break is so boring. You go into the international break with a defeat, you feel like, you'll be trolled for like a week and a half. So I don't want that for my team. But I mean, hopefully we can get results against Liverpool. For me, I'm looking at this Arsenal versus West Ham game.
Yeah.
Espirito Santo and how he can, try to stop Arsenal. I mean, defensively, he's always paying attention to his defense. So, but the way Arsenal are playing, no team seems to want to or try to beat Arsenal because of they have a good team, they have a good bench. I'm looking at what Arsenal will do, and also in Italy, I want to encourage Ghanaians to patronize the Italian league because there are some quality players there that if you start watching them well, you enjoy their play. And also Antonio Conte, look at how he has evolved from a 3-back man to a 4-1-4-1 system man. And if you like tactical games, you want to watch the Italian league and watch what Allegri is doing with the 3-back system, Napoli is doing with the 4-back system, and also Juventus, Nico Teodoro doing with his 3-5-2 system. So for me, I'll keep an eye on the Italian league this weekend and see how it pans out.
Manuel, your quick prediction of the Chelsea game.
Oh, I've already given my prediction.
Okay.
I said I was going for a draw. Because, I look at the last 11 games, there have been a lot of draws in there, and I feel like both teams will be coming into this one wanting to win this one. Liverpool because they are competing for the title, and then Chelsea also because they want to get there. They want to be one of the names in contention for the title. And so, I think it would be a very, very tough one, a hard-fought game, but I expect them to share the spoils.
Okay. Any other game that you are very interested in? Just 30 seconds. Because
definitely. Thing about the Italian league that Joe mentioned, there are a lot of Ghanaian interest in there. A lot of our brothers in playing in the Italian league. So you might want to check them out because we are Ghanaians and we support our own. And personally, my team, my darling club, Hala Madrid, hello, we are playing Villarreal today. So I'll be checking that one out as a Madrid fan. Villarreal are always a tough side for us. I mean, although we've had good results against them of late, but they make it a very, very tough game for us. So I expect, a lot of Madrid fans feel like, Alonso and Madrid, we perform against the small teams. When we meet the Minos, we'll see. But when we meet the big guys, we also what Atletico Madrid did to us last week. And so, I want to see us play against a bigger side than Kairat Almaty in the Champions League. So, and Villarreal are that side. Thomas Partey in there. They have some very, very good players. It will be a very tough game. I'll be watching it. And I'll also be watching Arsenal and then United. Hello, Amorim's United will be playing against Sunderland. Let's see if Amorim would maybe he's heard me speak on ZFM, and so he would change his tactics.
And, I mean, we are almost out of here. Any final word for your friends? Because I think some of your friends have followed us.
Yeah, a lot of them actually. Yeah, because they heard I was going to be speaking today. Shout out to Abu Michael. He sent a message. Abu Bonshra, the Kobe darling boy, is listening to me. Shout out to Jonas. Shout out to Magdalene and then Kelvin. That's my squad.
Ken.
Yeah. I want to shout out my boys on my platform called the Playback. Yeah, so all my boys on Playback, big shout outs to all of them. They are doing a fantastic job there. Whilst I'm here listening, talking for ZFM. So big ups to all my boys on Playback and keep up the good work. Yeah.
Well, so that's how we're wrapping up on today's Weekend Sports Rally on Z. But before I take leave of you, some exciting comments here. Justice Pisland says that, look, I pray my Chelsea don't get a red card. Thompson from La Paz says that I will be seated exactly by 3 p.m. Then Kwame Presser from Sotum, and he says that, Charlie, guys, the show is fire. And then Eugene Menu from Tema Committee 11 says that King Addo is a king. Bones through with this lovely message again, and he says that, Manuel, wonderful show, guys. I really enjoyed. Victor, always make sure that you bring these guys to the studio. Then you have to be sponsoring, you have to sponsoring. All right, guys, so thank you very much, and also thank Pius Asak, also for joining us here on the Weekend Sports Rally on Z. He's been in studio with us. Thanks to Kofi, the man behind everything, who's been turning and twisting everything to ensure that we bring you a very, very entertaining Weekend Sports Rally on Z. And to my man, who is in the technical room, Prince, also for ensuring that we are live on Facebook and even YouTube. Thanks to GM, thanks to the man himself, Nana Osafu Kantanka. And everybody, thanks to you, family. That is the Weekend Sports Rally family for always making time for us here on Z 101.9. If you don't hear from us again, up next will be Roots and Routes. But on that note, I say bye-bye.